Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Black Ice with me, Alpha by Omega and French Republic. So in the last episode we made a strategy how to get some army experience. We're gonna go with the foreign diplomacy, coupled with a few more days of waiting. It's gonna give us enough to get Philip Pétain as the military theorist. He's going to help us with the defense in depth doctrine as well and gives us a bit more army entrenchment ability. And then we're going to get back to getting the what it's called. I don't even want to pronounce it. HoI4. I'm not sure how this would be pronounced at all, but it will give us 2 hydroelectric plants. And then when we get enough army experience from Pétain, we are going to go with the military strategies, which will allow us to get a quick research on the military doctrine that we are missing to start working later on the World War II defense in depth doctrines. In the meantime, we're going to continue with the industrial efforts. Sounds like a plan to me. Yeah, and we are really struggling when it comes to power. We definitely need to build more. Well, we're building 2 more power plants, and we're gonna get those 2 hydroelectric plants, so that should do it. And we're gonna get 4 more factories will be added to infantry equipment, field uniforms, and support equipment. And after that, I guess I'm gonna start doing a bit with the recon equipment. Yeah, we need to add more because we want tanks. And we're gonna have to seriously start dealing with the anti-tanks. Light artillery and heavy artillery. Then something like this on the horse transports. Light vehicles, you guys. God damn it. Well, something like this. And then we're pretty much done. That easy. Easy. The fall of Beijing. After intense fighting, the garrison of Beijing Tianjin yesterday officially surrendered to the Japanese army. The offense first was concentrated on Nanyuan barracks, with a second attack on Benyuan north of Beijing. Soldiers on both sides fought with great determination and positions changed hands several times. In the end, the outcome was severely altered by the Chinese traitor Yu Pan, who relayed Chinese troop deployments and plans for a counteroffensive to the Japanese. With an ambush near Yuanhe, the Japanese managed to destroy numerous Chinese regiments. The Nanyuan barracks were surrounded by a brick wall, and the first line of Chinese defense was set right outside it. At dawn, Japanese artillery turned the brick wall into debris, and soldiers from the 3rd Battalion, CGA 1st Infantry Regiment, under the command of Ishiki, charged into the weakest spot of the Chinese line, where student soldiers were positioned. The regiment included about 1,700 students from local universities and high schools who were receiving military training at the time. Most of the teenagers, they had been given their rifles a few hours earlier. The Japanese, thinking that they could capture the barracks easily, were greatly surprised by their opponents' dogged determination later in the fight. As the Japanese poured into Chinese trenches, a hand-to-hand melee broke out between the opposing forces. The students fought desperately, but were no match for the Japanese soldiers, who were masters of close combat. Although the Chinese managed to hold their positions with great determination, the cost was devastating. The student soldiers lost 10 of their numbers for every Japanese soldier killed or wounded. The tremendous sacrifice of the Chinese students stopped the Japanese only for a few hours. When the stronghold of Nanyuan lost, General Song acknowledged that the battle was as good as lost and any further resistance would be futile. The Generalissimo also noted the gravity of the situation and ordered Song to withdraw. By nightfall, Song abandoned Beijing. There's Beiping here, but it's probably Beijing, and withdrew the bulk of his army to Baoding. Beijing Tianjin is fallen to Japanese soldiers of the Kwantung Army. Well, Japanese are decimating China. Oh, they landed in... That's Shanghai, right? No, Shanghai's over there, so Yin. Okay, I would have guessed that they would land in Shanghai. Well, at least that would be what I would do. Okay, so we get the AMR 35 turret. Now, let me see if we can do something with it. Yeah, I don't get it. Okay. So I'm starting to see here, we have a 13.2 millimeter machine gun here, and we can put the cannon on it, but if we got the other turret, it would allow us to get the 47 millimeter cannon on it. But it was piercing and everything, and it gives more breakthrough. I think this one requires, yeah, this one requires castmate. Okay, so then we would get 21 piercing. With more soft attack significant, but what does the castmate do? Actually, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna hurt our ability to fight. Defense, breakthrough, soft attack. But you breakthrough plus 10%. Hard attack plus 15. Soft attack plus 15. If you get extra defense, restore reliability. It's interesting, it gives you a 2% bonus and then it deducts 1%. Well, let's get the improved tank design. That's a good way how we can up our tanks if we need to. In a way that works fine for us. Okay, so we get the foreign diplomacy. Oh, nice, we almost have it. Okay, so now let's get the hydroelectric power plants. I didn't read the description. White coal or hydropower will allow our nation to thrive without needing to import coal from other powers. Definitely. Definitely. Okay, Philip Patan is the man we need, so let's get him. Wait, did we hire him? What the hell is going on? I can't hire him? Oh, we need an army chief first. Well, okay, we can get only one guy here, Maurice Gemelin, which gives... Wait, that's a Supreme Commander. No, we need an army chief. Okay, Maurice Gemelin, army defense expert. So that goes 50, but in about 60 days we can get Patan. So that's fine. We get the M406 fighter. Let's get the M151 interceptor then. And change the fighter to an upgraded one. Don't have any air experience or anything. We'll use 9 days production. Okay, let's wait till 3rd of October and then switch it. There is a ton of things that we can do here. You can get a drop tank, but if your capacity works, upgrade to an airframe with increased reliability. Okay, canopy would be what? No canopy, no airborne radar, an engine upgrade, and ammo capacity would be also possible. Oh, okay. So now we switch to you, which is great. in a sense. And we're losing steel. Okay, so if I up the energy, wow, we really are getting worse on energy. But on 16th of October we will get our first coal power plant of the new order, and the hydroelectric power plants are going to be done at the end of October, so we should be fine. But managing the energy is a bit more complex than I expected it to be. Okay, so we added another factory on to the infantry equipment. We're going to add another one on the field uniforms and then 2 on the support equipment. Those are the staples of a working army: a gun and a uniform. So how are we doing? Infantry equipment will take 425 days, okay. And field uniforms are going to take 645 days, but we're adding 2 more factories. No, 1 more factory, okay. But in 10 days we get dispersed industry, that's 10% extra output, and skills and training in 96 days, which is 10% efficiency. Nicaragua submits a formal complaint to the League of Nations. Nicaragua submitted a formal complaint to the League of Nations regarding the treatment of Nicaraguans by Honduras and their ongoing dispute over their shared frontier. The Nicaraguan government raises concerns about the treatment and well-being of Nicaraguan citizens residing in Honduras, as well as the hostile attitude displayed by the Honduran authorities in the border dispute. Nicaragua alleges that Honduras's actions have violated the rights and dignity of Nicaraguan individuals living in Honduras. They express deep concerns for the safety and welfare of their citizens and seek international intervention to address the issue. These new events really need a lot of polishing as far as English goes. Furthermore, the frontier dispute between Nicaragua and Honduras has been a source of tension and conflict between the 2 nations. Nicaragua accuses Honduras of adopting an unfavorable attitude in the dispute, which has further strained their relations. By bringing this matter to the attention of the League of Nations, Nicaragua seeks a resolution that upholds the principles of international law, promotes peaceful coexistence, and safeguards the right and well-being of their nationals. The League will now assess the complaint and decide on the appropriate course of action to address the concerns raised by the country. Okay, we finished a civilian factory project, so let me just get a couple more. Okay, let's upgrade some more factories. Okay, we added another one on the infantry uniforms. Now the support equipment is already at 2.6 per day, which is great. It's gonna upgrade further. And I like it. Anglo-Irish trade war ends. The Anglo-Irish trade war, also known as the economic war, though not a real war per se, had a disastrous effect on post-Great Depression Britain and Ireland. However, the Eyre Confirmation of Agreements Act has established the end of the war, and now Irish and British industries will benefit from more free trade. Okay, then the recon. I think our first step should be to switch the regular recon to the tankette recon, but it's gonna ask for another 2,500 recon. Jesus Christ. Mediation arranged for Nicaragua and Honduras. Good outcome. Following the Nicaragua's complaint to the League of Nations about the treatment of Nicaraguans and the frontier dispute with Honduras, the United States, Costa Rica, and Venezuela stepped forward to offer their mediation services. Recognizing the importance of finding a peaceful resolution to the boundary controversy, these countries extended their support to facilitate a pacific solution between Nicaragua and Honduras. The United States, Costa Rica, and Venezuela expressed their commitment to promoting diplomacy and dialogue as a means of resolving disputes. With a genuine interest in regional stability and the well-being of the involved nations, they believe that mediation can contribute to a peaceful settlement that respects the right and interest of both parties. By offering their services as mediators, the United States, Costa Rica, and Venezuela aim to create a conducive environment for constructive negotiations. conducive environment for constructive negotiations. Their intervention seeks to foster open communications, mutual understanding, and the exploration of potential compromises to bring about a satisfactory resolution of the boundary controversy. The international community, including the League of Nations, will closely monitor the progress of the mediation effort, hoping for a positive and peaceful resolution that promotes stability and good relations between Nicaragua and Honduras. Well, good for them. They've learned to speak to each other. Okay, so we got the first dispersed industry researched, and now we can get dispersed industry 2, which will give us additional factory output of 13% and lower the bomb vulnerability. Communist coup in Ecuador. The Ecuadorian army has overthrown the conservative government of Federico Paez. The country's new president and army chief Alberto Enriquez Gallo has pledged to better the conditions of Ecuadorian workers. Communism spreads. It truly does. Okay, so with the one factory we are now, with one power plant we are now at 104%, no, 100.4%. And now we got 2 more hydroelectric plants. We're gonna take way more time than we need. So industrial effort 2. 3 more civilian factories. Then we're gonna do the infrastructure and get to our first research slot, hopefully. Yep, the output is increasing greatly. We're down to less than a year on infantry equipment and a year and a half roughly on field uniforms. Good. That's what I like to see. Now recon. Recon should be about, yeah, about a year and something. So actually we have, well no, we need more of it because we want to upgrade the equipment we have already. Okay, we could change on you. Let's send volunteer to the Republicans again for a bit of experience. Let's do that. Okay, but the stockpiling of the fuel, I think it might be a good time to start drilling our airplanes, and that's gonna be expensive, won't it? Yep, we're actually losing fuel, so let's increase the import slightly. 91.2% energy. Okay, with that we can actually put the power plant at the end, so we're doing good. We do have a lot of coal, so let's just produce more steel. The International Conference on the Repression of Terrorism. The International Conference on the Repression of Terrorism was held from November 1st to November 16th, 1947 in Geneva, Switzerland. The conference was attended by representatives of various countries and organizations, including the League of Nations, and was convened in response to the growing threat of terrorist activities across the world. The conference was divided into 3 main sessions, during which various issues related to terrorism were discussed and debated. These included the definition of terrorism, the causes of terrorism, and the measures that could be taken to combat it. The conference also discussed the legal and political terrorism, the jurisdiction of national courts in prosecuting terrorists, and the right of victims of terrorism. The conference resulted in the adoption of a Convention for the Prevention and Punishment of Terrorism, which set out a comprehensive legal framework for combating terrorism. The Convention defined terrorism as a criminal act directed against a state and intended or calculated to create a state of terror in the minds of particular persons or the general public. It also established a range of measures for preventing and punishing terrorism, including the extradition of terrorists, the seizure of terrorist assets, and the imposition of severe penalties for terrorist activities. However, many states within and without the LON Oh, League of Nations. However, many states within and without the League of Nations refused to ratify the agreement due to an extradition clause giving it limited value. We will sign. Okay, so our stability should be 100% now, and we do have enough to get the 10. Yes, we get the 10. So army experience is now increasing. Why didn't we get the stability though? That is the question. No, we got it. Okay, nice. So we are maxed out on stability. Nice, nice, nice. They give us extra factory. Okay, we also have an extra factory on the support equipment, which is now at nearly 3.5 units per day. Recon is coming next. Light anti-tank is coming next as well. How are you guys doing? Well, training. The Hindenburg disaster. The German passenger airship Hindenburg was destroyed today while attempting to dock at Lakehurst Naval Air Station in the United States. For reasons not yet determined, the airship was engulfed in flames and it crashed to the ground, claiming 35 lives. Due to the scarcity and expense of helium and the US ban on exporting it, the Hindenburg, like all German passenger airships, was ultimately engineered to use hydrogen, which provides greater lift but is also flammable. With public faith shaken by this disaster and the rise of much faster passenger aircraft, this could spell the end of the era of airships. Oh, the humanity. Well, certainly. Certainly, we're gonna have an issue with that. Yes, helium. That is the preferred method. But hydrogen is also kinda okay when you know how to store it and what to do with it, but it's highly flammable. Okay. We lost the effect of the World Fair, which took some factories away from us. Or maybe it's just the fact that we are upgrading factories so much. Okay, so infantry equipment, field uniforms, and support equipment have the maximum predetermined amount of factories. Next in line, recon equipment. And then we start with the light anti-tank. Goodness gracious, we're doing fine. Romania demands guarantee. Okay. For several months now, we have tried to secure an alliance with the Kingdom of Romania, if only to keep their oil out of enemy hands. Now, Georg Tatarescu has declared that a formal guarantee of military support in case of war is a necessary step before his government would even consider joining our faction. Okay, they shall have that guarantee. Okay, the infrastructure effort takes 50 days. In that 50 days, we are going to get 12. Yeah, we'll have enough. Okay. Nobel Prize is 1937. Foremost defender of the League of Nations. The Nobel Prize Committee today awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh god. Oh, but we're getting stability here. Okay. So hold on, let's read it this way. Italy storms out of the League. Italy has left the League of Nations on Saturday. The decision to take this step was announced in theatrical fashion to 100,000 people in the Piazza di Venezia in Rome last night. In a declamatory speech, Signor Mussolini explained the withdrawal and, in doing so, attacked the League. He repeatedly appealed to the crowd, which cheered and groaned at appropriate moments. Referring to the League's imposition of sanctions against Italy during the Abyssinian War, Mussolini declared that Italy would never forget this shameful attempt at the strangulation of the Italian people, for which reparations have never been made. It is grotesque, he said, to believe that pressure was exerted on us to decide. Our comrades of the Berlin-Tokyo axis have shown absolute discretion. There is no undue concern in Britain about the Italian decisions, which was expected. In fact, the dictator's speech, which followed a meeting of the Fascist Grand Council made less impression than had been anticipated, as it has been believed that he might have announced other decisions calculated more to complicate the international situation. Apparently, Germany had previously been informed of the decision, for the newspapers in Berlin wholeheartedly agreed with it. So we lose a bit of stability and political power. But Nobel Prize is 1947. Wow, okay. So the Nobel Prize Committee today awarded the Nobel Prizes to the British politician, diplomat and peace activist Lord Robert Cecil. During World War I, he was a minister of blockade, and at the Versailles Peace Conference he played a leading part in the formulation of the rules of the League of Nations. In 1919, he participated in the founding of the League of Nations, which in the interwar years became Britain's most important extra-parliamentary pressure group in the field of foreign policy. In 1947, Lord Cecil spearheaded a nationwide signature campaign demanding that the League of Nations adopts economic and military penal sanctions against violators of the peace. He was also among the leaders of the International Peace Campaign, IPC, which worked for disarmament and collective security through the League of Nations. The Nobel Prize in Physics or Medicine 1937 was awarded to Albert von Georgi Nagyarbold for his discoveries in connection with the biological combustion processes with special reference to vitamin C and the catalyst fumaric acid. The Nobel Prize in Chemistry was divided equally between Walter Norman Howard for his investigation on carbohydrates and vitamin C, and Paul Carrer for his investigation on carotenoids, flavins, and vitamin A and B2. The Nobel Prize in Literature 1937 was awarded to Roger Martin Dugard for the artistic power and truth with which he has depicted human conflict, as well as some fundamental aspects of contemporary life in his novel cycle Les Tribaux. The Nobel Prize in Physics 1947 was awarded jointly to Quentin Joseph Davison and George Paget Thomson for the experimental discovery of the diffraction of electrons by crystals. On another note, Adolf Hitler, Chancellor of Germany, issued a decree that essentially forbids German nationals to accept any Nobel Prize. While this year sees no German honorees, one might wonder whatever might happen should that change in the years to come. I was just thinking, like, whatever might happen. Did it happen? I don't remember. I should Google that. Congratulations to Roger Martin Dugard. Okay, let's add stability to our already maxed out stability. And here comes the industrial effort. I don't really know if we want... The next one is way ahead of time. Transmission tools are also ahead of time. We do the construction. Industrial effort 2. But we need this one done as soon as possible. That gives a lot of things. Support armored tanks, all infantry and motorized. Yeah, we need that done as soon as possible. Okay, but how? Let me snag this one. It's just 10 days and then we are going to end the episode. Or if we get an event, because we are already nearing 30-minute mark. Okay, so we added another on the recon as well. Fall of Shanghai. Shanghai, the Paris of Orient, has finally fallen to Japanese hand after prolonged fighting between the defending Chinese troops and Japanese Marines. The Japanese also utilized naval and air bombardments, which created tremendous casualties for the Chinese defenders and devastated the metropolis. A small battalion of Chinese troops were seen still fighting in the Xihang warehouse before retreating to the neutral international settlement just across the Suez-Ho River. Oh, and we finished the handheld anti-tank. Great. I can't wait to have to build that. Garrison training improved. Oh god. We have the new... God. Well, I guess there's no day like tomorrow. So here's the mortar. More defense, way more soft attack, breakthrough, and even more hard attack and piercing. What about the machine gun? More defense, more breakthrough, more soft attack. Well, the mortar is a bit better in the stats, so let's get that one. And we'll have to put it back into production. And we'll actually have to put you into production as well. Oh, 2,600. Jesus Christ. Okay, this cost almost literally nothing. How much is recon? 1. So 4 factories would make about 5 of you per day. Yeah, we'll need more factories there, unfortunately. Great! It's just awesome news. But I mean, at least we're building the factories pretty quickly. We're building a bunch of civilian. I have to tip it more towards military because that is what we want. Okay, so review military strategies is done, and we get the event a great power in name only. So let's start with that one in the next episode. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode.